Good morning. Just a Goldstrike Resources update to my subscribers. I want to quickly outline the Goldstrike Resources company. It's a prospect generator company that has embarked on its largest drill program in its history, encompassing 2 regions. There are, of course, other assets, but to simplify, we're just going to focus on the Plateau property, which Newmont came in as a partner for $53 million as a joint venture, and has a 2018 10,000 meter drill program that is about to commence. And then, of course, the White Gold District assets that have no underlying royalties or property payments is the second piece of the puzzle. This new spin-out leaves the Plateau project with Newmont and within Goldstrike and frees up this largest new discovery in the White Gold District, the Monte Carlo zone, the 2017 discovery drill hole that returned 5.36 grams per ton gold over 22 meters, starting at only 13 meters from surface, to be the cornerstone in establishing a separate company called Goldstrike Resources Ltd. Good morning. It's a beautiful Friday. We're downtown Vancouver, the heart of mining, and we're at the Goldstrike Resources head office, and I'm here with Dr. Ewan Webster. He's a widely respected geologist, and we're lucky to get some time to talk about the spin-out of Goldstrike Resources from GSR. I know from my subscribers and from a lot of people out there, they've got a lot of questions about what this looks like, what does it mean, is it advantageous? And what I wanted to do was to go really to the heart of the matter, to the story, the meat and the bones, and ask a geologist like yourself, what's this mean to you as a geologist? Is it advantageous to do a spin out?
Sure. Well, Andrew, I think it definitely is. There's several things that come to mind. One being that this is going to allow Goldstrike Resources to unlock the value of all of its properties. It's also going to allow the Goldstrike management to focus on its strategic partnership with Newmont Mining and also focus its efforts on the Plateau property. That's going to allow the Goldstrike management then to focus its efforts on developing the 6 White Gold District properties on a standalone basis. Now, for the spin-out, Goldstrike Resources is only going to have 35 million shares outstanding. They'll have $2.5 million in cash in the bank. They'll 100% own the 6 properties in the White Gold District, and they're fully funded to execute their drill and exploration programs this season, which is in fact already underway.
So that's great news. It's always wonderful to hear that you've got funding in place for a 2018 program. But let's take a quick step back and just recap for everyone the inaugural 2017 program, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. Well, Andrew, the 2017 program was a great success. The program was designed to test 450 by 1450 meter geochemical and geophysical anomaly at the Monte Carlo zone. The Monte Carlo zone is one of 5 anomalous zones along a 10-kilometer trend on the Goldstrike property, and it's the only one that's been drill tested to date. Last year we managed to drill just over 1,000 meters in 9 exploratory holes, and we intercepted a broad zone of gold mineralization just below the surface. Highlights include 5.36 grams per ton over 22 meters, and that also includes 18.7 grams over 5.7 meters. All of the other holes intersected gold mineralization as well. It was over a 200 meter strike length, and it remains open to depth and along strike. So I think we can anticipate some more good results this coming season.
Excellent. So Ewan, you mentioned that there are 6 properties within this White Gold District. Yep. What can you tell me about this land package?
Well, Andrew, Goldstrike Resources is going to acquire the Goldstrike property, Hotspot, the BRC, King's Ransom, Gold Source, and the Bullseye property. The excellent exploration results to date from all of those properties, coupled with the fact that there's no underlying NSR, there's no property payments, and they're 100% owned by Goldstrike Resources, provide a really solid foundation on which to build this company. In fact, if we specifically look at the Goldstrike property and the 2017 results from that demonstrate that it was one of the most important discoveries in the White Gold District. In fact, I would say the Yukon in 2017. So it has the makings of being a standalone flagship property for the company.
Well, this sounds like a pretty exciting time.
Yeah.
That's pretty outstanding to hear things like flagship property. But what really stands out is it sounds like we're in a data accumulation phase.
Yeah.
What does all this data so far seem to be suggesting?
Well, I think one thing that comes to mind is that in this area of the Yukon, we're fortunate in that during the last ice age it was a bit of a glacial desert, so that no ice sheet had passed through the area. And what that means is that soil anomalies in this area are incredibly important. In fact, some of the major discoveries in the area have been off the back of these soil anomalies, including Coffee Creek. Now, what we have at the Lucky Strike property is a 10-kilometre trend that is defined by soil anomalies, as well as prospecting samples, trenching samples, and the very positive results from our inaugural 2017 drill campaign at the Monte Carlo zone. The anomaly at Monte Carlo, as I mentioned earlier, is 450 by 1450 metres, and that's a big area. That's probably big enough to host something like the Golden Saddle deposit or Goldcorp Supremo zone. As well, we've only drilled the Monte Carlo zone, so that's one of the 5 zones. So I think the potential for discovery along this 10-kilometre trend going forward is going to be huge.
Okay, great. Well, are you going to be drilling this summer? And if so, what are the plans?
Well, we will indeed be drilling this summer, among many other things. And essentially, this is all facilitated by the Advanced Exploration Permit that we were just granted by the Yukon government. And that's going to accommodate the most extensive drill program to date. The program itself is going to be focused at the Monte Carlo zone. Let me just show you that here. So targeting at the Monte Carlo zone is based on previous drill results, trench results, and also our data from ground and airborne geophysical surveys and very important soil geochemistry. Now, using that data, Lucky Strike plans to both define the orientation of the mineralisation and determine the extent of the strike length of the zone. Initial drilling is going to focus and occur 700 metres along strike and 300 metres across strike. Now, in addition to the diamond drilling, the exploration program will also include a 9-kilometre IP survey that will be conducted at the Monte Carlo zone. This is where a previous IP survey was very successful in identifying key mineralised structures that remain open. Based on the success at the Monte Carlo zone, additional mechanical trenching is planned for the other 4 zones along the 10-kilometre Lucky Strike gold trend. And that's primarily focused on delineating additional drill targets. The trenching will be primarily focused on untested areas of soil geochemistry and is planned to exceed probably about 1,000 metres. A systematic programme of prospecting and soil sampling is also planned in the area to confirm its gold potential. And the 2017 property-wide LiDAR survey identified numerous key structures that will also receive follow-up prospecting and sampling to test for gold potential during this 2018 programme. In addition to the Lucky Strike programme, exploration will also be conducted on Goldstrike's hotspot property. This property is located 80 kilometres west-northwest of Lucky Strike in the White Gold District, close to the Yukon-Alaska border. The inaugural 2017 programme at hotspot yielded very promising early-stage results, with the discovery of the Sure Bet zone, which is a 100 by 150 metre geochemical anomaly that yielded soil samples assaying up to 4.1 grams per tonne gold and rock samples from hand pits that assayed up to 0.4 grams per tonne gold. The zone remains open to the north and south, and we're fortunate at hotspot. We generated this target for very little money, and it already exceeds the soil anomaly that we saw at the Monte Carlo zone. Ground-based geophysics, in combination with a mechanical trenching program, is planned for the Sure Bet zone to determine the source and extent of the high-grade soil samples and the nature of mineralisation in preparation for drilling.
That's great to hear so many projects going forward and going on board right now for 2018. One of the things that I always look for are comparables.
Sure.
And you've mentioned some big companies, some big projects that are either adjacent or close nearby to the White Gold District. From your point of view, does that help? When in this data accumulation phase, does that help? Is it advantageous?
Well, Andrew, I think it's extremely advantageous having these big projects close by. I mean, the Lucky Strike property is strategically located between White Gold's Golden Saddle deposit, which is 1.5 million ounces, and Goldcorp's Coffee Creek project, which is 5 million ounces. I guess at the moment, Goldcorp is in the process of building out infrastructure in the area, and when I think it's all said and done, they'll have probably spent about $2 billion in the region, which is fantastic. In fact, the proposed haul road for the mine at Coffee Creek is actually going to cut the Lucky Strike property in 3 places. And as I mentioned earlier, the Lucky Strike property, in fact all of our 6 properties within Lucky Strike Resources have no underlying NSR, there's no property payments, they're 100% owned by us. And we've had very successful exploration results to date. And I think we're going to have very good results going forward with this season and in forthcoming years. So, you know, from my point of view, I feel like Lucky Strike Resources probably makes a fairly attractive acquisition target for Goldcorp somewhere down the road.
Okay, well, let's wrap this up. I know it's Friday, but for someone like yourself, there's no such thing as a long weekend. Lots to do. You've got lots of work ahead.
Yes.
This is all very exciting. So maybe just to recap, just kind of 3 broad strokes reasons why this is an exciting opportunity.
Well, I think one, specifically the Lucky Strike property, we have a 10-kilometre long gold trend. Within that, we've only drilled one of the 5 zones, so we drilled at the Monte Carlo zone. It already provided excellent results from trenching and from the inaugural drill program in 2017. So I think we can expect continued success from that zone. And the discovery potential from the other 4 zones, I would say, is huge. So looking forward to this season, I think we're going to have a very positive results.
Excellent. Thanks again. I appreciate your time.
No problem. Thanks,
Great.
Andrew.
Thanks.